Welcome to Job Reinvented Show. Level up your career with confidence. I'm your host, Panta Kalhor. Episode 12, from organ prolapse discovery to hypopressive trainer with Trista Zinn, personal trainer. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and pre-order my book Naturally Conceived through Amazon. Thank you for watching. Welcome to Job Reinvented Show. I'm your host, Panta Kalhor. Sometimes trauma and going through healing journey would help you to discover something inside you. Like our today's guest, Trista Zinn, who was diagnosed with stage 2 prolapse but healed after discovering a new path. Trista Zinn is a personal trainer based in Toronto who specializes in pelvic floor health and core reprogramming. She is Canada's highest qualified and most experienced trainer in hypopressive technique, the only one with master level status, and is a certified course instructor for hypopressive training. I am so happy to have you here. Welcome to our show. Trista.
Thank you for having me.
You have a very impressive topic, and your story really touched me. That you could heal yourself with a new path and going this through hypopressive. I've never heard about this technique, so I really wish to know about it and know about your story first. Yes.
Sure. So I'm a personal trainer. I've been in the fitness industry for close to 28 years. Just to give you a little bit of background, I'm a mom. I have a 19-year-old and a 14-year-old.
Good.
And I was 42 when I found out that was told that I had this bladder prolapse. So a cystocele, stage 2. And for those who don't know what prolapse is, it's when the organs, the bladder, uterus, urethra, rectum, start to descend through the vaginal canal. They're no longer being supported optimally, and your body's not able to possibly manage the pressures of everyday living. And so eventually it starts to descend. So there's different grades. Mine was still internal, and it was the bladder. You can have just one organ that descends, or you can have more than one organ. When you find out you have this, it's a very emotional piece of information because it is in an intimate part of your body. It's harder to talk to people about it. I am a runner, cyclist, cross-country skier. I work out all the time. So it wasn't easy like some of the other injuries maybe that I've had when I can kind of vent and explain to people like, oh, I'm not running because of my knee or something. I have to swim. But this was something that I felt at the time. I really didn't know who I wanted to tell. Like I wasn't sure. It was very foreign. And I had just been at a pelvic floor Pilates course actually a couple of weeks before, where I'd seen what prolapses look like on the big screen, and learned more about the percentage of women who have pelvic floor dysfunction, incontinence, etc. So desperately afraid of it getting worse, and you become mentally consumed by this information and what to do with it and how to breathe, how do I stand, desperately not wanting to make it worse. And you are consumed really by what's going on in that part of your body all the time. And so I guess there's a process where, like many things, you go through the anger piece, you go through the depression, there's a lot of crying, you go through the piece where it's like, okay, it's me, it's all my kids, it's not fatal, so this thinking process, you go through your mind. And then I guess there was a point where I thought, okay, you know what? I am not letting this define me, and I'm not going to let this limit what I can or can't do. And although I was told surgery back then might be my only chance to help restore things, that was not an option that I was happy with. And I'd found out about this hypopressive technique. It was not in North America at the time. It was predominantly Spanish-speaking countries. So everything on social media, what there was back then, isn't nearly the amount that there is now on hypopressives, but it was Spanish speaking. And
¿No hablo español?
No, not at all. Maybe a teeny little bit now, but not much. No. So I watched and tried to emulate what I saw, which I really don't recommend people do now because I've seen it done incorrectly. But I caught on to it, and for some reason, I was able to do it. This unique breathing pattern, etc. And within 2 weeks, I went back to the pelvic floor physiotherapist, and she couldn't believe that my stage 2 had now gone to a stage 1. And my pelvic floor tone was starting to normalize, etc. And that's when I thought, oh my God, I got to figure out where I can learn this as a personal trainer. Like, can I bring this back to North America? Even if I can help a certain percentage of the population that might respond the way I was responding, how can I not bring it here? So I sought out Kaisa, who was the only English-speaking instructor at the time in Banyoles, Spain. She kindly dedicated the weekend and taught me the level 1. There'd only been one other level 1 English course taught before that. So I was just starting into the English stream. It was in the UK where the first course was taught. And she taught me privately the level 1. I came back, now I knew exactly the details of the postures and the poses, etc. And after this certain couple of weeks, I went back to the pelvic health physio and the prolapse was gone. And she was like, oh my God, like, I don't see anything. So it was like an awesome piece of information, of course, because also back then when I found out that I had the cystocele, I was told, back then in 2012, they were telling you to stop doing all your exercises. So they told me to stop running, stop cycling, stop strength training. So anything that I would have done to help me emotionally cope with the fact that my organs were descending, I also was told not to do. So, which contributed, of course, to that whole emotional piece, I'm quite sure. But after I found out that it was no longer there, it basically started a whirlwind of travel back and forth to Spain because, well, how am I going to help as many people as I can? I have to train the professionals, the fitness and health professionals, so now they can use it as a tool with their clients and their patients. So I went back and forth a number of times to get myself to master level, to get myself to become a qualified course instructor. And now I teach the courses across Canada. I've taught a couple in the US, but I won't be going to the US anytime soon. So now they're in Canada, and I've taught a number of virtual courses. Clients Beautiful. I've seen virtually one-to-one for personal. So I see clients on a Monday to Thursday basis that are looking for hypopressives for personal reasons. And the personal clients I've been training around the globe virtually since 2012 for those who weren't near a qualified instructor who could give them the hands-on. So this whole pandemic thing was a smooth transition for me, and that I was able to just start seing most of my clients virtually, the odd one at the clinic, but.
So
yes.
This hypopressive, what is this exactly? I mean, what do you exactly do?
Okay, so first of all, it's a core restoration and maintenance program. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's a postural and respiratory technique that takes a full body approach to core and pelvic health. Yeah, so the core, if we're thinking about the core, we have to think about what are the functions of the core, right? What is it there for? Our core is responsible for sexual function. It's responsible for maintaining continence, both fecal incontinence and urinary incontinence. Yeah, it's a support system for our organs, our internal organs.
What about fertility?
What about which?
Fertility.
Fertility? Well, I think that if there's, with regards to fertility, I'm not a specialist in that area, but if there would be scar tissue or fascial restrictions or anything like this. This gets a deep myofascial traction within the core, right? So it's deeper than a massage would be because it's happening from the inside. The core is also responsible for digestion, circulation, speech, yeah, and to balance and counterbalance increases in pressure. And we live on a planet with gravity. So everything we do, from sitting to standing to walking, coughing, working out, all increases intra-abdominal pressure. So that whole unit, this system, so if we're looking at the core, we're looking at this respiratory diaphragm, this pelvic diaphragm or pelvic floor, the transverse abdominals, the deepest abdominal muscles, and the multifidus in the back. So this canister, yeah? Mm-hmm. It's supposed to work, this canister is supposed to work synergistically as a unit without us thinking about it, yeah? So, how do you train a group of muscles that's supposed to work together as a unit in an automatic anticipatory way without actually voluntarily contracting them, thinking, oh yeah, engage, right? Because that's not really how they're supposed to work. So this technique involves a series of postures and poses and movements that help to create this reaction, an automatic reaction within the core. Not only with the postures, but with this unique breathing technique, which I'm not going to demo here, but you can look it up on my website if you like, where you get this vacuum effect, if you will, which decongests the pelvic cavity, draws everything inwards and upwards, and decreases pressure in the abdominal and pelvic cavity. So, and it recruits the deepest muscle fibers, the ones that are responsible for core function, predominantly the tonic type 1 muscle fibers, and ones responsible for resting tone, etc. And so it's not only recruiting this muscle group, this core muscle group with this abdominal vacuum maneuver, if you will, but also with these series of postures and poses, all create a reaction. You can do the breathing technique, sure, on your own without any poses, you'll get some results, but if you're gonna go and do your regular activities and you're gonna push the grocery cart like this, or you're not gonna be sitting up, depending on how you're moving, you're not gonna reap the same rewards. You need something that maintains this alignment of the respiratory diaphragm, pelvic diaphragm, so they can function optimally together. I don't know if that's too much detail. Like, there's a lot to the technique.
No, that was beautiful. Actually, I never heard about this, and I was thinking maybe I have to do more research to see if it's good for fertility healing as well, because I have a coaching business that I'm helping women with fertility, and these are good to know. Maybe it can help as well, because it, as you said, it helps sexual power as well. So probably it should be effective for
because it improves circulation there as well, right? And there's another really nice component to it that there's a really nice mindfulness component to it, because you're in these poses and you're aware proprioceptively of where you are in space. You're doing this rhythm breathing, and you move seamlessly from one posture and pose to the next. So it's great. A lot of people come to me with this specific goal in mind, but because that goal involves a piece of the core that maybe was their weak link, that caused this dysfunction, whether it was abdominal hernias, incontinence, vaginal prolapse, etc., they come to see me for this. But when we're working with the core, then all of these other things start to snowball in a positive direction. And they're like, oh, kind of feels like I'm walking taller. I can breathe better, and digestion is better. Their bowel movements improve, all of these sort of things. So it wouldn't surprise me if it would benefit those who are seeking out fertility options to incorporate this. But I don't know for sure. I haven't.
That needs to be researched.
All right, let's do it.
But I can see the results on you. You are fantastic. I mean, very fit and great. I can feel the energy, and you are so passionate and full of energy. I love it. It's
Thank you.
good. So, what are the five, let's say three, just limited to three most important factors to be successful as an entrepreneur?
As an entrepreneur. So you definitely have to be passionate about
Yes.
what you're doing. You have to be very patient, I think. And you have to, I think non-stop believing in yourself that you can make it happen. So even when you hit these road bumps, you're like, you just got to keep going and see other opportunities ahead, seek other paths, and yeah, persevere, because things happen. Yeah. And you just have to keep talking, positive talk, positive self-talking. I think, yeah, that's what worked for me. The industry is changing that I used to, well, my personal training, I used to do more of the traditional training. Yeah. Exercise techniques that you'd see in the gym, strength training, etc. But since this happened, I streamlined myself and I actually only see clients for hypopressives. I don't teach any traditional type exercises at all, unless they're sort of moving back into that direction. I can guide them, but then I would like to refer them to someone that's their area of expertise, and they work with them there. When I network with those trainers, as well as networking with the pelvic health PTs, because I think they're also a really important piece of this puzzle, and I don't do internal work. So I like to network a lot with the pelvic health professionals who can give me the internal perspective. Right. And then I see the full body and the external, and we network and work together that way. So I changed my whole way of, doing business just to hypopressives and then teaching the courses.
So another question just popped in my mind. Do you actually see your clients one by one, or you have group class?
I see them one-to-one first. I do have some group classes, but I need them to get to a point where then they can be taught as a group. I like to see them first, so then I can help guide them personally on their personal needs. Really zone in and take a look at how they're breathing, how they're standing, optimize that, teach them this part of the technique. And then once they have that concept, then I'm like, okay, now you're ready for a class. Let's get a couple of people together, and I do virtual classes. I teach a workshop. I've got a couple of workshops coming up. They're 2-hour workshops geared to general public that just give you a taste of what the hypopressives is about. So I talk a little bit about the core. I introduce the breathing piece for them to try. They try a couple of poses, but then really I say it's ideal if then you can work with me or another qualified trainer one-to-one to make sure that you're starting this exactly how it should be done. Yeah. So then so I see clients that are one-to-one, and I do some.
So what do you do right now with the COVID situation?
Well, I've been seeing clients via Skype and Zoom since 2012. So when I couldn't see the clients in Toronto anymore at the clinic, I just moved them to Skype. And I see people literally like Germany, Netherlands, Switzerland, all over the US, like everywhere. I've seen people in Japan. I know someone in Australia used to wake up at 2 a.m. to see me to do the session. So now we have more qualified instructors that are around the globe, but there are many, many people around the globe. So some of them aren't close enough to qualified instructors, so I see them virtually. So I just easily transitioned everybody to virtual. And the class I could do virtually, no problem. The courses, it was an easy transition because I was already used to seeing the clients online, right, on the screen and watching the details and etc. So it was an easy transition for me to then move the courses to virtual.
Yeah, for you was easy.
Yeah.
Not for everybody. I can see some of an instructors still struggling because they had the physical place.
Yeah.
And then they don't know how to meet their clients.
Yeah.
And some of them actually started virtual training, but still lots of them I can see they do training on the street,
Yeah,
but
and the
not in the closed place.
yeah, and in the parks. Yeah.
Yes.
You have to, when you train virtually, and especially with this exercise technique, because it's so specific, you have to verbally cue like crazy, like watching, cueing every detail, thinking of really simple analogies for them to understand how their body's supposed to be, how it's supposed to move. And they connect with it. I've been successful. My clients have met with a lot of success virtually.
Great.
That's why I keep doing it. Yeah.
So you said you've doing this since 2012?
Yes. Yeah.
Great. So what are the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs do? And then they fail or they give up?
The biggest mistakes? I think maybe one mistake could be to react too fast, to not pause and respond to a situation. I think could be one mistake. I know sometimes I've been guilty of that. I want to just react. Something's happened and I want to just and I have to calm down, just let's assess the situation, just take a step back, see what's happening in the big picture. Of course, I like the analogy is you can't read the label when you're in the jar. So I think it's important to come out of the jar and take a look and see what's going on and then proceed from there. So that would be one mistake. I think if you, I hope I don't know too many mistakes, so I'm just going in the right direction. Yeah, maybe to get frustrated too fast, to not explore new avenues that are out there and try to stick with, you have to keep evolving. You have to evolve and accept this process. So if you're stuck in the old way and you're just doing it this way, then I don't think you have the opportunity to grow.
So it means you have to learn consistently.
Constantly learn, be open to learn.
Exactly.
Talking to everybody. You have to walk and talk to everyone to find out more information. Yeah. And be open to learn and yeah.
Do you have any special program and your website? If you just say your website, it's easier because I'm recording for podcasts as well.
Sure. So the personal website where I see clients on a one-to-one basis is coresetfitness.com. So it's CORESET fitness.com.
Oh, okay.
The one for professionals who might be looking to take the courses, it's hypopressivescanada.com. Mm-hmm. So hypopressives, I don't know if you want me to spell that one or not, is hypopressivescanada.com. Yeah.
Good. All right. Do you have any recommendation for whoever wants to start the entrepreneurship in this situation of COVID-19?
Sorry, repeat that one more time. Do I have any which?
And do you have any recommendation for whoever wants to start entrepreneurship in this situation of COVID-19?
I think if you can start to work virtually, it's ideal. It doesn't mean you have to stay this direction. If things change, you can change, do a little bit half and half. And I'm sorry.
That's fine.
And I know that Yoga Body put out a really nice, I don't remember the exact location, but it was a really nice video that he did that helped you with the virtual piece, how to do the filming, how to have the camera. You don't need anything fancy. I'm trying not to think that I need anything fancy. I'm trying to just get comfortable in the videos and kind of go from there. So don't wait for don't wait for perfection. Just get started. Just start. And then
I follow you 100%, because if you are, it's going to be too late if you're going to be perfect and you're going to miss everything.
Yeah,
your
just
passion, because when you want to initiate something, you have a lot of passion and this energy helps you to move. But then you stuck in perfection, yeah, you are actually attracted to shiny objects. If I'm doing this is better. If I don't do this, don't compare yourself with other people. You just start, and as soon as you start, gradually you get there.
yeah,
Everything is gonna be better, more comfortable, and easier to
yeah.
implement.
And I do remember him saying that in this video that, you know what, the people who are watching the videos, they're there for the lesson. They want to listen to you and what you have to say. They don't care what your background is. It doesn't have to be nice. It doesn't have to be pretty. They're listening for you, the information that they can acquire, how they can learn from you. You don't always have to look for the perfect background scenario, as you can see, like in my daughter's room, because it was the best room tonight for this talk. So you just find what works and go with it. Yeah.
uh, that was amazing to have you in this interview, because it's not only about the job entrepreneurship, but lots of inspiration for whoever struggle with PTSD or even health issues. This is really inspiring that you found a way and you listen to your heart, that this diagnosis is not you. That's the point I always tell my clients for the fertility. I tell them, if you are diagnosed with unexplained infertility, this is not the ultimate diagnosis. You should listen to your heart and work with your body, and you have to align your mind and body, as you said, because as I figure out, this method you're talking about it really works with mind and body. Is
Yes.
not only body. So you go through the whole system and you calm down your body, and then go through other movements and your fitness
Yes. Yeah.
practice.
Yeah. This is true.
All right. Thank you so much, Trista. I really enjoy that. And I
Thank you.
learned so much from you.
Thank you very much for
Yeah.
having me. I
Yes. Thank you
appreciate it.
so much. Bye.
Yeah.